Hi, my name is Sydney Jackson, and this is my Pillar 3 assignment. I have included a picture of me from last year's yearbook. I teach at Rolla in Rolla, Kansas, and I teach 4th and 5th grade or 3rd and 4th grade, depending on the day we split it up between A and B days. And I also do teach some art classes as well as graphic design to high school and junior high, um, just as CTE pathways, which you'll see later. So, engage in professional learning and ethical practices. A meeting that we attend at least 3 times a year is Love and Logic. This is led by Sherry Pinkley. She is also our kindergarten teacher. And she teaches or really tries to help us with positive and ethical practices in regards to our students and how to communicate with them better. And this practice can be used if you're a parent, it can be used with your children, and it can also be used to talk to parents. I have learned that this school district, especially, is really good when it comes to the students and their learned helplessness. There's not as much here as there has been in other districts that I've been at. And it teaches to build positive relationships and a respectful learning environment. It also helps the kids to remain calm so that you see a lot less behaviors, and it teaches the kids to how to kind of self-regulate their own emotions to realize, hey, it's really not as bad as I thought it was, and I can get this done and it's going to be okay. So and you can talk to the parents and just remain completely professional with them, even if that's not how you necessarily want to be. Um, Evidence of this actually working is done daily. You kind of reflect at the end of the school year, or at the end of the day every day. And how could I have done that better? How could I have reacted a little bit differently to the student and their meltdown? And how could I have de-escalated the situation instead of really truly escalating it further? And I have included a link to the Love and Logic place, their website. That way, if you wanted to see a little bit more here. Okay, so this is my evidence slide for 3.12. For my evidence, what I do is it started off as assignments for Fort Hays State University, as where I would record lessons in my classroom of me teaching to my students. And it ended with realizing that my reflections on this really helped me within my own classroom. The parents all know, the students know whenever I do it. It's not, and it's not a daily thing. So I do have permission slips that are sent out at the beginning of the year. And I will kind of complete something a little bit like this. This one's a little bit more in depth than what I normally do, but I just included it as a kind of just to show. And I'll go through, for instance, in this video that I did, this was one of the first ones that I completed in the T2T program. And I unfortunately did not differentiate for my students that needed a little bit of extra help. I have since then started to do so. One thing that I did keep, however, is if you click on that video and watch it, I would give students a specific amount of time to complete this or to talk amongst peers, or and it would all be timed. And I also used multiple ways of learning, because that is something that I really feel all students should be able to do, because I know for myself, I'm not necessarily a visual learner. I need to be doing it. Okay, so a difficult decision that has really kind of shown me ethically, where we're at. I have a student this past year who we knew had seizures, and she had a active 504 plan, so we had procedures through it and we knew what to do. All the students knew, not that she had them unless they had seen her have them, but they knew how to react in case of an emergency. So we had these provisions in place on what to do. And my classroom is in the basement, and my student, we were able to get all students out, and the seizure, or at least just me and her there, um, in under, I'd say probably maybe 10 seconds. I mean, the kids were out, they knew what to do, especially since we don't have a para in the classroom at the time. They did absolutely wonderful. So I was able to maintain her safety, her privacy, to where other uh, kids aren't seeing what's going on with her and don't know her medical or anything like that. We also have walkie talkies that I was able to radio up and say, hey, code word in my classroom. And we have EMS professionals on site that are also school staff members. So I was able to recognize the importance of having a well-oiled procedure, especially for things like this, because I had never had an issue like this before until this time. So, leadership and collaboration. So, as I mentioned previously, my leader, or not leader, mentor is Becky Som. She is absolutely amazing. So when I first came to USD 217, I met with her weekly. So it was every Wednesday at lunchtime, and we would talk about just how things are going, what I needed help with, any questions I had for her. Then as time progressed, it started to go to monthly, and then now we do whenever I need to. I know where her classroom is. I can just go over there, or I can email her a question that I have. She also does observations for me. Here is an example of one of the observations that she did. It may have been for that video that I gave you. However, she does these often. And really gives me feedback, and it allows me to reflect professionally on what I need to do better. I also included my PDC points here to show that I do attend our professional learning developments. So collaboration. As I mentioned earlier, I also am a CTE pathway teacher in a small school. We kind of we have to do all sorts of things, and especially in our smaller communities. So I teach graphic design to my students, and that is my CTE pathway. We work together and we reach out to businesses and community members, and we really allow for students to have post-secondary options, as well as what they're going to do career-wise, if they're going to have a what they're going to do in the future. So one of the things that we also do is guest speakers, and collaborating all of those guest speakers within our CTE teachers that we have, and really having meetings we have meetings at least once a semester. We have to have board members that are not school staff members as well. So I think it is a really good thing to collaborate with our community and staff and children to kind of help them to prepare for life after school. And here is an example of what we do, which I have that other one over there. But here's an example of an advisory goal that we have. So we have this, and we fill these out. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.